Pleasant day. We're the group 4. I am Deanne Paula A. Concepcion.
I'm Allyssa Jessica G. Luena,
And I am Miguel Christian Luzon, hereby
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 to
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 discuss
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 distribution of
distribution of
Ayuda
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 fairly
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 allocated.
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 The world never gives any certainty. A lot can change overnight, and challenges occur without prediction. In the year 2020, everything starts to be different as a global pandemic hits every country. The lives of people change, and their way of living has been greatly affected by this. In this case, as we are facing a global pandemic wherein a lot of families and individuals were affected, as we are residing in a third world country wherein there are only limited capabilities and assistance that can be performed by the government. In line with the negative effects of the pandemic, various companies decided to terminate employees because they are also having a hard time allocating funds as the economy is currently low. That results in the increase of the percentage of unemployment.
As the number of unemployed rises, the workers of each household are having a hard time providing the needs of their family, and that is the reason why Ayuda was created to somehow help Filipinos in surviving their daily life. The government made sure to provide support to every household through giving the Ayuda. Ayuda was declared to be given to everyone as the general population has the right to receive Ayuda, regardless in which class they belong, as there is also no exception to be affected or attacked by the viral variant. Hence, it should be taken into consideration those who belong in lower classes that are in dire need. Thus, the fair distribution ayuda should be given by the means of applying the value of equity rather than equality.
For our position, the government should provide ayuda to the middle and upper classes. The general population has the right to receive ayuda regardless if they are classified as lower, middle, or upper classes, and of family status. They are also affected by the global pandemic, but equity must be observed in the division of ayudas. The main objective is the fair distribution for the consumption of resources. Moreover, the idea of knowing that those who belong in the lower class are in dire need of help to survive the pandemic, attaining their basic needs, thereby, ayuda can be fairly given by the means of applying the values of equity greater than equality.
Ayuda should be distributed to everyone, which means that includes middle and upper class. This is evidently stated as President Rodrigo Duterte has declared that Ayuda should be given to everyone, which does not specifically mention that it should only be given to those who belong in lower class. Thus, it was instructed that upon the distribution of financial assistance, there is a 1,000 pesos allotted for every individual in the household, yet there is a maximum of 4,000 amount given in every household. Thereby, we stand for ayuda to be given without checking the status of people as it hasn't been a part of requirement in the first place. Local LGUs were held liable for the distribution of allocated funds to the citizens of the Philippines. The local LGUs then assigned barangays officials for the distribution of financial assistance called ayuda to each household. Yet many families who belong in middle and upper class were not able to receive their ayuda. Officials reasoned out that people who are in higher classes no longer need the support of the government, but truly, people who are in those classes are known to struggle as well, given that some of them lose their job as other businesses shut down.
Given that, regardless of the family status, everyone is affected by the pandemic. Those in the lower class are acknowledged to be needier of greater assistance and support. They should receive a greater portion that is enough for them and their family. The ability of people to provide for their families and assess their capacity to get their needs should be taken into consideration by the government at this point. On 31st of March 2020, it has been reported in several news journals that the government has allotted an amount for those households who earn a low income that includes fisher folks and farmers. The rate of the amount to be given them ranges from 5,000 pesos to 8,000 pesos.
We stand for Ayuda to be distributed through the application of the value of equity rather than equality. Fairness is not just about being able to give the same amount to each and every individual. It is not also plainly about being treated the same way as others. Moreover, fairness is being just where equity is practiced as the needs are distributed to those who are in dire need. As the citizens of the Philippines are grouped into classes based on their living status, many are requesting a fair distribution of financial assistance, known as Ayuda. In this time of the pandemic, the government better allocate the funds well to cater to all the citizens upon acknowledging to give a bigger portion to those who belong in the lower class as they need the financial assistance more.
According to Sebastian 2020, the middle class is classified into three categories: the lower middle class, and upper middle class. About 32% of the families within the whole population of the Philippines are classified as middle class. According to Sebastian 2020, in a senatorial meeting, people of the Philippines were outraged by the statement of the Senator Sergio Villar that the middle class does not need financial assistance for the reason that they are still receiving their salaries.
According to Venzon of 2020, the poor are the main priority of the government upon giving financial assistance due to the global pandemic.
According to Daisy of Social Change UK, equality may be the answer to putting an end to the differences and conflict, but fairness and unity do not always directly lead to success. Equity focuses more on the needs of each individual according to the circumstances they are faced with. Not everyone needs the same treatment because each person has their own unique problems. To conclude, life is not seen through labels to place them in the section of one's judgment to where they belong. But there are aspects where this should be considered as well. We believe that it is only just and fair to provide those who are part of this community, regardless of whether they are on top or at the bottom of the social class hierarchy. It is not merely about who deserves it more or who relatively values it more, as we are mindful to know that we are one country that cannot simply trade lives. Unity and cooperation are the main principles that will raise us above this ordeal and the obstacles it has to offer. The time has come to set aside our differences. Everyone is in need of goods and services. To call for help.
For aid,
For Ayuda.